Hello, I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the Strategy Room. President Obama and the 2016 presidential candidates speaking out Tuesday, condemning the bombing attacks in Brussels that left at least 31 people dead. Obama, speaking in Cuba, pledged to do whatever is necessary to help Belgian authorities track down those responsible and urged the world to unite in the fight against terrorism. Republican presidential candidates Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, meanwhile, offered their condolences to the people of Belgium, but also turned focus to the U.S., suggesting America should rethink its visa waiver program. Joining me now from D.C. to discuss are Democratic strategist Emily Tisch Sussman and Republican strategist Brad Blakeman. Welcome to you both.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Emily, let me start with you. What do you make of President Obama's reaction, and should he have devoted more time to speaking about the attacks in his speech?
Look, this is a horrible crisis, and anybody who's seen the images coming out, people, children running out of the airport, it's really heart-wrenching. The situation is evolving, and we'll learn more. ISIS has now claimed credit for it, and this has to be a full effort on all pieces of our national security and foreign policy working together to figure out, to really get to the bottom of it, and to figure out what the best way is to root out the evil at its root, and not to be reactionary to it. So I do think it's important that we move with the facts that we have as it's oncoming.
And Brad, your take on President Obama's reaction?
Weak, and nothing out of the ordinary. He's been weak on our enemies. He's emboldened them by being ineffectual. And I'm sorry to say that. It hurts me to say that my president is a weak person. But what I would have done, suggested, and remember, I worked in the White House. I was a senior staff advisor to a president. I handled his schedule. And I think one of the things you'd see if George Bush were president today was he would have went immediately to the U.S. Embassy in Havana. He would have had a civics conference before he spoke to the public. He would have addressed the American people from our U.S. Embassy. And it would have not just been a minute statement that he could have given at any time. He could have used that for any terrorist attack that's happened in the past. And he would have been strong. And then what I would have done is I would have dispatched Kerry over to Paris, and I would have put Biden in Washington and go to the Belgian embassy. The response was weak compared to the devastation that we saw today. It was pro forma, and it was not presidential.
Well, let's take a listen to White House hopeful Ted Cruz from a news conference Tuesday.
There's no doubt we need serious scrutiny to the visa waiver program. The attack in Brussels is in many ways the fruit of a failed immigration policy in Europe that has allowed a massive influx of radical Islamic terrorists into Europe.
All right, I want to get both your reaction, but Brad, I want you to go first to that soundbite there. Could these attacks then reignite the debate over Syrian refugees in the U.S., Brad?
Our intelligence people say that we don't have the wherewithal, the resources to properly vet the people who seek asylum in the United States. And that's enough for me. If we can't verify that they are the type of people that we want in the United States, then plain and simple, they cannot come here.
All right, Emily, your take.
Yeah, getting to the root really means getting to the root, not dealing with one person who comes in at a time. And we can't deny that what is propping them up and what is propping up the ISIS fighters is Islamophobia. It's exactly what they want. Anti-Islamic sentiment is exactly what they want, because they can then say to the people, look, the rest of the world doesn't want you. You have to come join us. It's that simple. And so when we become totally isolationist, when we promote the fact that we can't accept people who are fleeing in danger, then what statement are we sending ourselves? And are we really just giving them the biggest recruitment tool they could possibly have? That's what I mean when we say we need to look at this from a full perspective. We can't just be responding one thing at a time, like pop-up, like popping them down. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. We have to actually look at what is recruiting them and what is the best thing, the strongest stance that we can take on that.
And that might be a long-term solution, but Donald Trump, he says, he's been warning about something like this for some time, and of course he made headlines early in the campaign for calling for a temporary ban on Muslims. Now, could we see this kind of rhetoric resurface, Brad?
Unfortunately, yes. But that is the type of rhetoric that is absolutely un-American. We should not ban Muslims. What we should ban are people who seek to do us harm. And the way to properly do that is vetting. not people who are coming here under the guise of asylum to create havoc in the United States. We need to create safe zones over there, not bring people here we cannot properly vet and identify to a certainty that they are the type of people that we need and want in America.
And Emily, can we properly vet Syrian refugees or any refugees coming into the country when they come in such large numbers?
Well, the reality is that they're actually not coming in very large numbers. It's been about 10,000 per year, and the length of time that it takes to vet them when they are not currently on U.S. ground is between 2 to 3 years, and there's 21 steps in that process. The reason there is a little bit of piece of uncertainty is because they left everything. Who do you call to verify the information? They've left absolutely everything. So it is to the best of their knowledge, and I've spoken with many people who actually do this vetting in refugee camps, and they do the family tree, and they sketch it out, and they say that there's really no doubt in their minds when they send people back over. So it actually is quite a secure process, and the people that are coming over as refugees, those are actually not the ones who are committing acts of terrorism. It's domestically grown. So, I mean, we should really look seriously before we get really reactionary to it.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Emily and Brad.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And for more on this developing story, go to foxnews.com. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.